The freaking free agency period, it just started. It just started today, and Angel Reese is already traded. I'm so ATL. I'm so ATL. I'm so ATL. We got to break this down. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, and hype the video. That would be greatly appreciated. We got some crazy news.
Free agency just started, day one. And the WNBA already dropped a bomb that nobody saw coming this fast. Angel Reese, two-time All-Star, traded from Chicago to Atlanta for 2 first-round picks. A rookie contract player getting moved after making back-to-back All-Star games. That doesn't happen unless something went seriously wrong behind the scenes.
Way to get things started. I told you guys that the Chicago Sky were done with Angel Reese. I told y'all the GM wanted nothing to do with her. Okay, I told you guys he was moving her. I told you guys she could be moved by the draft. I literally told you guys this. Okay, and look, take a look at the. Hold on, man.
Here's what makes this remarkable. Angel Reese averaged 14 points and 12 rebounds per game. She set the WNBA single-season rebounding record. She was the face of the Sky's rebuild alongside Camila Cardoso. And Chicago's general manager Jeff Pagliocca just shipped her out for draft picks before she even finished her second season. The question isn't whether there was a problem. The question is, how bad did it get for them to move this quickly?
Was up. I knew something was up when I saw this. I got to be completely real with y'all. When I saw this, and I was going to make a video on this last night and put it up first thing in the morning. When I saw this post where Angel Reese posted this photo and Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray was in the comments, I said, something is up. Something is up. I literally already made a thumbnail for it. Now I got to make a new one, but I knew something was up. And I already knew Chicago Sky GM was done with Angel Reese because she quit on the team. She absolutely quit on the team last season.
Let's go back to what actually happened last season, because this trade makes zero sense without that context. Late in the year, during a game against the Liberty, Angel Reese was suspended for conduct detrimental to the team. Not foul trouble, not injury management, conduct detrimental. She warmed up for the second half, got called to check in, and refused to enter the game. Just flat out refused. The Sky sent her to the locker room, and she didn't play another minute the rest of the season. But here's where it gets worse. The same day the season ended, Angel was photographed on a private jet to Las Vegas. Dancing, partying, no back brace, no visible pain, completely fine. Remember, she had claimed a back injury was keeping her out. The optics were catastrophic.
28 first-round picks. So they're getting 2 first-round picks for Angel Reese. Do you know how much of a locker room disaster you had to be to get traded in during your rookie contract? Do you understand how much of a locker room debacle? You know how much of a locker room disaster she had to be to get traded during her rookie contract where she just made 2 All-Star games? That does not happen. And it only happened.
Now let's talk about what led to that moment. Because the locker room issues started way before the suspension. Angel went public criticizing Courtney Vandersloot, calling her too old to be effective. Vandersloot is a Sky legend, a veteran point guard who helped build that franchise. And Angel, in her second year, decided to throw her under the bus in media interviews. Courtney had to respond. She got in front of cameras and defended herself, which should never happen. When a veteran has to publicly fire back at a teammate, your locker room is broken. Ariel Atkins, another Sky player, stood up for Vandersloot in post-game press conferences. The team fractured into camps, and Angel was on an island.
Sky, hold on, man. Stephen A. Smith even says something about
Chicago Sky have traded Angel Reese to the Atlanta Dream. Atlanta is sending first-round picks in both 2027 and 2028 to acquire Reese in a 2028 second-round swap. Stephen A., your reaction to this?
I'm very, very happy for Angel Reese. The Chicago Sky have been awful.
Stephen A. Smith called this a good move for Angel, saying Atlanta puts her in a winning situation, and on paper, he's right. The Dream went 15-25 last season, but they've got pieces. Ryan Howard can score. Alicia Gray is a veteran presence. Jordan Canada runs the point. Adding Angel's rebounding and energy should help. But here's what Stephen A. isn't addressing. Atlanta just gave up 2 first-round picks for a player who quit on her team mid-season. 2 firsts. For someone with documented locker room issues, for someone who publicly criticized teammates, for someone who faked an injury and got caught partying the same night, Dan Padover, Atlanta's general manager, better be absolutely certain Angel's maturity issues are behind her, because if she pulls the same act in Atlanta, those draft picks are gone for nothing.
Situation for Angel Reese personally. I'm very, very happy for her.
I love this.
All right, man. Angel Reese headed to Atlanta, and she already took to Twitter. She already tweeting, y'all. She's already tweeting. She not playing, bruh. It's on. It's on, man. Angel Reese tweeted an Angel's dream. ATL, what up? Wow. Wow.
Look at Chicago's official statement. Jeff Pagliocca wrote that this trade achieves roster balance and represents a great opportunity for all parties. That's GM speak for we needed her gone. He thanked her for her contributions, wished her well, and moved on. No effusive praise, no emotional goodbye, just professional courtesy and out the door. Compare that to how teams usually talk about all-star players they're trading. There's usually some version of this was incredibly difficult, or we explored every option to keep her. Nothing like that here. Chicago got what they wanted, which was Angel Reese off their roster, and they got compensated with future assets to rebuild properly.
To achieve roster balance and represents a great opportunity for all parties. Angel has achieved many record-breaking milestones in her first 2 seasons in the WNBA and has been competitive force for the Sky. We are thankful for her many important contributions to this league and this game, and we know she will continue to have a big impact on the court and beyond. We wish Angel all the best in her next chapter. General Manager Jeff Pagliocca. See, I told you he was done with her. He was off her. He wanted nothing to do with
Angel tweeted immediately after the trade was announced. An Angel's dream. ATL what up? Exclamation points. Excitement. Ready to move on. And honestly, this might be the best thing for her career. Sometimes a player needs a fresh start, a new environment where past mistakes don't define every interaction. Atlanta doesn't have the baggage. She's not walking into a locker room where veterans remember her calling teammates too old. She's not dealing with a coaching staff that watched her refuse to play. She gets to rebuild her reputation from scratch. And if she's smart, she'll take that opportunity seriously.
But yeah, this is a big deal, man. This is a huge deal. I'm interested to see how this is going to play out. Atlanta's got a good team now. You got Angel Reese, Bree Jones, Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray. You still got Brittany Griner. You got a lot. You got some pieces over there. I think they should get rid of Brittany Griner. I don't think Brittany Griner can really play anymore. She can't move. I'm sorry, she just can't move. But with Bree Jones and Angel Reese down low.
But let's be clear about what Atlanta is getting. They're not just getting the player who averaged a double-double and made 2 all-star teams. They're also getting someone who has proven she'll prioritize personal brand over team success when things get difficult. Someone who will go public with locker room grievances instead of handling them internally. Someone who will quit when the situation isn't to her liking. Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray are professionals. They've been in this league, they've dealt with adversity, and they're not going to tolerate the same behavior Chicago dealt with. If Angel comes in with the same attitude, this experiment fails fast. If she comes in humble, ready to prove herself, this could work beautifully.
Get down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think, man. Let's keep the vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Here's the bigger picture that's getting lost in all the trade excitement. The WNBA is a small league. 12 teams. Rosters of 12 players each. That's only 144 roster spots in the entire league. When you develop a reputation as a locker room problem, there's nowhere to hide. Everyone knows. Every GM talks to every other GM. Every coach has connections. Angel Reese just got her second chance, and she better understand there probably isn't a third one coming. If this goes sideways in Atlanta, if the same patterns emerge, she's going to find herself on a very short list of talented players that teams won't touch. Ask players like Candace Wiggins or Rakuna Williams how quickly the league moves on when you become more trouble than you're worth. So let's break down exactly what this means for everyone involved, because this trade has implications that stretch way beyond just Angel and 2 franchises. For Chicago, this is addition by subtraction. They get 2 first-round picks in 2027 and 2028, which gives them flexibility to either draft young talent or package those picks in another trade. They also get to rebuild their locker room culture without the constant distraction of managing Angel's personality. Camila Cardoso becomes the undisputed face of the franchise, and she doesn't have to share the spotlight or deal with the drama. Jeff Pagliocca can now bring in veterans who actually want to be there, who will mentor the young players instead of undermining them. For Atlanta, this is a massive gamble with potentially huge upside. If Angel buys in, if she accepts coaching, if she plays within the system, the dream just got significantly better. Pairing her rebounding with Howard's scoring creates a legitimate inside-out dynamic. Allisha Gray brings championship experience from Las Vegas. Jordan Canada can distribute to multiple weapons. On paper, this roster could compete for a playoff spot and maybe even a series win. But if Angel reverts to the behavior that got her run out of Chicago, Atlanta just mortgaged their future for nothing. 2 first-round picks are valuable in a league this small. Those could have been impact rookies or trade chips for established stars. Dan Padover is betting his job that Angel has learned from her mistakes, and if he's wrong, he's going to have a lot of explaining to do to ownership. For Angel herself, this is the definition of a crossroads moment. She's 23 years old. She's already accomplished things most WNBA players never will. 2 All-Star selections, a rebounding record, a massive social media following, endorsement deals, a platform. But none of that matters if she can't stay on a team. Think about what this trade says about her reputation. Chicago drafted her 7th overall in 2023. They invested in her development. They featured her in marketing. They built their rebuild around her and Cardoso. And after 2 seasons, they couldn't wait to move her. That's damning. That tells you the behind-the-scenes issues were worse than what we saw publicly. The incident with Courtney Vandersloot wasn't isolated. The refusal to play wasn't a one-time emotional reaction. There was a pattern of behavior that made Chicago's front office decide a 2-time All-Star in her early 20s wasn't worth keeping. Let that sink in. Now Angel has to prove she can be a professional. She has to show up in Atlanta, keep her head down, work hard, support her teammates, and let her play do the talking. No social media drama. No calling out veterans. No quitting when things get tough. Just basketball. If she can do that, this trade could be the best thing that ever happened to her career. New city, new teammates, new coaching staff, fresh start. She gets to rewrite the narrative and show that Chicago was the problem, not her. But if she can't, if the same issues pop up in Atlanta, her career trajectory changes dramatically. She'll be known as the talented player who couldn't get out of her own way, and that label is almost impossible to shake in a league this small. Here's what's going to be fascinating to watch. How do Howard and Allisha Gray respond to Angel's arrival? These are established players who have earned respect in this league. They're not going to defer to a second-year player with baggage. If Angel tries to come in and take over, tries to make this about her brand instead of team success, there's going to be friction immediately. But if Angel comes in with humility, if she acknowledges that she made mistakes in Chicago and wants to learn from veterans, this could work beautifully. Howard and Gray could mentor her, show her how to be a professional, help her channel her talent and energy in productive ways. The Dream could become a legitimate threat in the Eastern Conference. The coaching staff matters too. Atlanta needs to establish clear boundaries from day one. No special treatment, because she's an all-star. No tolerance for the behavior that got her run out of Chicago. If she crosses a line, there have to be immediate consequences. That's the only way this works long-term. And let's talk about the fans, because this is going to be interesting. A lot of people who claim to be Sky fans were really just Angel Reese fans. They followed her from LSU. They bought her jersey. They showed up to games to see her. Now they're going to have to decide. Do they follow Angel to Atlanta, or were they actually invested in Chicago? My guess is most of them follow Angel, which means Atlanta just got a significant attendance boost and social media engagement increase, which is valuable in a league still building its fan base. But it also means those fans are going to have expectations. They're going to want Angel featured, want her getting shots, want her to be the star. And if the coaching staff prioritizes winning over individual stats, there could be tension. So here's the ultimate question. Was breaking those stories about Angel's behavior worth it for the reporters who covered it? Was getting the scoop on her refusing to play worth burning the relationship? Because now everyone knows. Every team, every coach, every GM knows exactly what they're getting if they bring Angel Reese onto their roster. That information is valuable for the league. It helps teams make informed decisions. It protects franchises from investing in players who might implode. But it also potentially damages a young player's career and earning potential. There's a real tension there between the media's job to report the truth and the impact that reporting has on people's lives. I'm not saying reporters should cover up bad behavior, but I am saying there are consequences to these stories, and Angel Reese is living those consequences right now. She got traded because her behavior became public knowledge. If those stories never come out, maybe Chicago tries to work through the issues internally. Maybe she's still there. But they did come out, and now we're here. Angel Reese is an Atlanta Dream player. Chicago has 2 first-round picks, and we're all going to watch this experiment unfold in real time. My prediction? This works for about half a season. Angel comes in motivated, plays hard, keeps her head down. The Dreams start winning, the fans love her. Everything seems great, then something happens, a tough loss, a coaching decision she doesn't like, a perceived slight from a teammate, and we'll see if she's actually grown, or if the same patterns emerge. I hope I'm wrong. I genuinely hope Angel has learned from Chicago and comes into Atlanta ready to be a professional, because the talent is undeniable, The potential is there. She could be a cornerstone player for a decade if she can get out of her own way. But the track record says otherwise. And in a league this small with this much visibility, there's nowhere to hide if things go wrong again. So Atlanta fans, welcome Angel Reese. Chicago fans, you've got draft picks and a fresh start. And Angel, you've got one more chance to prove you can be the player your talent says you should be. What do you think happens next? Does Angel turn it around in Atlanta? Or are we watching the same story play out with a different jersey? Drop your predictions in the comments, hit that subscribe button, and let's see how this plays out when the season starts.